National Anthem. Seated. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of Central Lancashire's graduation ceremony, and we're delighted to be celebrating with you today the success of our fabulous graduates. We hope you've all had a day to remember. I now call upon our Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Professor St John Crean, to say a few words.
As soon as I can control this paper. Welcome to the University of Central Lancashire. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to this ceremony where we acknowledge and celebrate the achievements of our soon-to-be graduates. The past few years have been challenging for us all, and this cohort in particular has had its studies most affected by the pandemic. However, you have all shown great resilience during this time, which I know will stand you in good stead for the future. I'm delighted that we can now celebrate your achievements, and I trust that you enjoy both the ceremony and the celebrations that will, I am sure, go on afterwards with your families and friends. Your studies have prepared you well, and I am sure you will find that you now have a closer set of connections with the world around you. I hope as well as achieving your qualifications that you have also had a great experience, and that in years to come, as a member of our global alumni community, you will look back fondly on your time at the university and will keep in touch to share with us your successes. At our University Open Days, we point out that graduates tend to earn more over a lifetime than non-graduates. But more importantly, they tend to be healthier, happier, and live longer. Remembering those facts will surely reassure you that the effort and commitment you have invested in the last few years was well worth it. Undoubtedly, you will be in different positions at this moment in time. Some of you will be waiting to get your first graduate job. Some may have already started on your career path, or are changing career because of your new qualification. Or perhaps even your new qualification will help you better yourself in the career you already have. Whatever your situation, we know there will be many opportunities that lie ahead for you. On behalf of us all here today and from the wider team at the University of Central Lancashire, I thank you for your future contribution. The personal characteristics that you have displayed to get you to this point today, energy, commitment, tenacity, and an open mind, will serve you well for the future and will help you to recognize and seize the opportunities that exist. Make sure you leave this hall today with confidence, ambition, and a desire to make a difference. You are the future leaders and high climbers in whatever occupation lies ahead for you. Life won't always be plain sailing, but during your studies, we hope you will have acquired a toolkit that will help you to navigate choppy waters. Your studies have prepared you such that although you can't direct the wind, you can adjust the sails. Here at the University of Central Lancashire, we've always believed in helping people to seize every opportunity to flourish in education, at work, and for life. We're proud that by combining academic excellence and real-world teaching, we give our students the skills and experience that industry needs. That's why our talented graduates are in such high demand in the world, and we're delighted that we've created new possibilities for many thousands of our graduates during our near 200-year history. I hope we have helped create the opportunity for your future success, ensuring you have the relevant knowledge, skills, and experiences to thrive wherever you came from and wherever you go to next. I hope, too, that as part of your UCLan journey, you have felt that you have belonged here. It's important to us that our students feel safe, valued, welcomed, and included. Whoever you are, whatever you are in life, here at the University of Central Lancashire, we believe there's always a way. As you look to the future, enjoy this moment, and particularly enjoy today. Share special memories with your friends and with the friends you've made here and with your families who've been with you on this journey of learning. Talking of which, before we celebrate your success, let's have a round of applause for all those people, your family, your friends, and your tutors who've supported you and who are celebrating with you here today. Now, all the rest of the applause will be just for you. So for all of you who today become graduates of the university, I extend my warmest congratulations on your achievements. You have been taught by a dedicated group of academic staff who devote their professional lives to the teaching, learning, and development of our students. You have also been supported by many highly dedicated and professional staff members who, whilst they often do not teach directly, have provided the service and infrastructure that have made your success at the university possible. I would like to thank them on your behalf. I'm confident that you will bring not only real economic and social benefit to yourself, but also to the communities of which you are members. Whatever you do next, and wherever in the world your journey takes you, on behalf of everybody at the University of Central Lancashire, very well done and good luck for a happy and successful future. We are very proud of you. Let me leave you with a quote from the playwright Oscar Wilde, which I think is very fitting for today. You can never be overdressed or overeducated. Thank you.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, the University confers an Honorary Fellowship Award on Peter Burden. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Peter Burden has been at the heart of some of the biggest events in Africa during a journalism career spanning more than 30 years. He had the prestigious honour of being the BBC's Africa Bureau Chief, and during this time he delivered exclusive coverage on a wide variety of very important events, including the death of President Nelson Mandela and the kidnapping of the Chibok schoolgirls. As a senior editorial leader in the BBC's international news operations, he had stints as deputy editor of Radio 4's iconic Today programme and managed some of the BBC's most famous news reporters, including Jeremy Bowen, John Simpson, and Kate Adie. Peter, who was raised and educated close to Preston, retired from the BBC in 2016 and decided to use his skills to mentor and train young journalists through his own Nairobi-based media company. His expertise has also seen him deliver crisis management courses for corporate clients and diplomatic missions around the world, and he recently helped train 200 media workers in Ethiopia. Peter's passion for helping the next generation of journalists led him to our doors. He spent 3 years as a practitioner in residence in our journalism department, and he continues to collaborate with our journalism academics. The ambassador for the Tutu Foundation UK has also worked with us on developing partnerships with African universities, leading to us hosting journalism symposiums in Kenya, Ghana, and Ethiopia. Pro Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the University Board, it is with great pleasure that I present Peter Burden for the award of Honorary Fellow from the University of Central Lancashire. And I now call on Peter Burden to respond.
Oh, thank you very much for those very flattering and very kind words. And my life flashed in front of me, I think, while you were saying that. And thanks very much for the Pro Vice-Chancellor and your inspiring words to all of us as we set out to build new careers from this place. It's such a great honour for me to accept this fellowship, not least because I've worked at UCLan and I'm a proud Prestonian. I come from a little village about 5 miles south of here called Lonton, where I was born and grew up. And the relationship with my family actually at UCLan goes back almost 100 years, back in the 70s, way in the past, when I was a wannabe journalist just leaving school. I came to UCLan for my selection board to join the National Council for the Training of Journalists pre-entry scheme. And at that time, UCLan was #1 for journalism in the whole of the UK. And I think in terms of employability, it probably still is. So many good journalists have come out of the walls here at UCLan. And I go back even further than that, actually, because nearly 100 years ago, my dad took his 11+ test in Corporation Street. It was the old building just there, the old Harris College, as it was in those days. And in those days, you couldn't get a bus into Preston. My dad's dad, my grandfather, he had to saddle up the horse and the trap, and they had to ride into Preston on the back of a horse to take the exam. And when he got here, my grandfather asked my dad, "Are you nervous?" And he said, "No, because my headmaster said that the only people who will pass this exam are people who stay as cool as cucumbers. And I'm determined to stay as cool as a cucumber." And that's advice I followed really throughout my life, in that staying cool as a cucumber in difficult positions. And sometimes when I've been, as you mentioned in your kind remarks, when I've been reporting from Africa or the Balkans or Iraq or the Middle East, the key thing at all times, keep as cool as a cucumber, and I think say that to all of you as best as you can. Don't let your imagination run wild at various possibilities. Just think of the next thing you have to do, and at all times keep cool as cucumbers, and it's not bad advice to follow. And as we sit here today, you know, my dad and grandfather lived through very tough times in the interwar years. They used to have a market stall in Preston Market just down the road, and they grew their own tomatoes. If their crops failed, they didn't get paid. It was as simple as that. And the people of Preston at that time were so poor that they would sometimes buy just 1 tomato or 2 tomatoes. They couldn't afford a ½ pound of tomatoes or a pound. So I think as we sit here today, and let's face it, we are facing some tough and uncertain times. We have another war in Europe. We have financial difficulties, rising prices in electricity and gas, and real hardship for millions of our fellow citizens. You know, we should never forget that the hard times that previous generations have also lived through, and I think together, you know, we will derive strength from each other through being together. And when I again think of my dad and my granddad, a university dream wasn't even a dream, it was an impossible dream for them. Hardly anyone went to university, just a real small privileged elite. And here we are now, almost half our population in every age group goes to university, and I think that is really wonderful. I mean, we have opportunities that they could never even dream of. And here at UCLan, I've been really proud to work with with some of the best in our Department of Journalism, our Department of International Development, where we've developed partnerships in Africa, and we've given university opportunities and bursaries to many, many young people across the African continent and beyond. So I'm really be very proud of being part of UCLAN and what UCLAN is achieving to build that better world. And I think Africa is most of what I've done in the last few years. And in my BBC career, I was really fortunate to work with the great Nelson Mandela. And for me, whenever the going gets tough, I always think of Mandela and how he lived in a cell for 27 years. Really, his only crime was to seek freedom and justice for his people, and how ultimately he prevailed about those odds, and he became president. I knew him as a man of great dignity who kept his cool, even when subjected to humiliating treatment by his jailers. And he sums up that dignity and resilience for me at all times. I mean, the Mandela I knew was a man of great self-discipline. I remember the day he was released from prison after 27 years, and there were speeches to be made, there were receptions to go to, and a friend of mine was actually in charge of organizing all those events, and he was working for 24 hours, and at the end, at 3 a.m., he finally climbed into bed, absolutely exhausted that this great day in history, which he presided over, had finally happened. He collapses into bed at 3 a.m., At 4 a.m., the phone rings, and it's Mandela on the line saying, Trevor, it's time for my exercises. What have you done with my weights? Where have you put them? And so, here we are, Mandela, one of the greatest day of in his life, and he is there, 4 in the morning, still wanting to do his morning exercise. And I remember into his 90s, he was still doing his push-ups every morning. And I was always encouraged when he used to say, even in the difficult days, he would say, human goodness is a flame that can be hidden, but it can never be extinguished. And it's worth remembering that in today's world where there's so many difficulties ahead of us, that there is still human goodness. And I urge you all, whatever careers, whatever fields of life you go into, as you travel from this place, to keep Mandela's flame of human goodness alive in everything you do. You have this golden opportunity now to take what you've learned here and be part of a new generation that helps build the new industries, the new technologies, that helps tackle our climate emergency and help create a better, more equal world than we're currently experiencing. And above all, be that new generation that has the energy and purpose to collaborate and inspire each other, just to keep that Mandela flame of human goodness burning within us all. So it's something I learnt actually in the business school here. Someone said to me once, a lot of people get opportunities of a lifetime, but remember, opportunities of a lifetime only last as long as the lifetime of the opportunity. And what they meant by that is just do it. Get out there and do it. Don't wait. If you get opportunities, take them. And as Mandela always used to say, now is the time to find your purpose. Now is the time to build your network of friends and develop your capabilities, all to make that flame burn bright. So UCLAN, everyone here, I really thank you all. I'm so honored to be with you today. And I would just say, make that Mandela flame burn bright as you go forward into life and keep it burning. Thank you all very much indeed. Thank you.
Pro-Vice Chancellor, the presentation of graduands and award holders will now take place. Graduands, it is now time for your moment of glory. Please make sure you bring your seat cards with your name on up to the stage. For your health and safety, we'll be offering you a glove to wear before you go on stage to shake hands with the presiding officer. If you would prefer not to shake hands, please just give a formal nod to the Pro-Vice Chancellor. Thank you.
Pro-Vice Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, I present those who have gained awards in the School of Community Health and Midwifery. For a Master of Science in Integrated Healthcare, Sarah Lane. Master of Science in Transforming Integrated Health and Social Care, Alice Fletcher. Deborah Jackson Howarth. Emily Lake. For a Master of Arts in Integrative Psychotherapy, Robert Gregor. Charlotte Walker. Master of Science in Applied Public Health, Maureen Duffy. John Vianney Ashoke Isesley. Sorry. Postgraduate Diploma in Applied Public Health, Ifoma Cynthia Izuki. Master of Science in Applied Public Health, Jocelyn Jose. Aisha Likwa. Sandia Vedapoli. Ziba Anjum Ser. Master of Science in Sexual Health Studies, Kadiba Mac Barango. Ursula Nube. Postgraduate Certificate in Promoting Psychological Wellbeing, Hilary Ajay Asare. Rebecca Ankers. Elena Chowdhury. Karen Edge. Lorna Fraser. Natalie Medger. Laura Wharton. Postgraduate Diploma in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, School Nursing, Lindsay Bailey. Jenny Gornall. Lindsay Wood. Postgraduate Diploma in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Health Visiting, Nicola Royds. Ashley Welsh. Melanie Wharton. Postgraduate Diploma in Community Specialist Practitioner, Community Nursing in the Home, Michael Kempster. Laura Marsh. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Sexual Health Studies, Elizabeth Bendel. Naomi Beeler. Morgan Blair. Daisy Grimes. Katie Louise Nazarelli. Tamia Peters. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Counselling, Coaching and Psychological Interventions, Maria Berry. Nitesh Kumar. Fatima Patel. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Counselling and Psychotherapy Studies, Imrad Per Mohammed. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Specialist Community Public Health Nurse, School Nursing, Nicola Carter. Sharon Rotherham. Catherine Winters. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Specialist Community Public Health Nursing, Health Visiting, Stacey Darlington. Rachel Green-Wheeler. Zoe Marshall. Sally McNulty. Sarah Park. Bianca Valentine. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Community Specialist Practitioner, Community Children's Nursing, Rachel Moore. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Community Specialist Practitioner, Community Nursing in the Home, Louise Canavan. Jessica Kerwin. Lisa Doran. Julia McAvoy. Melanie Norris. Rebecca Smith. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Person-Centred Counselling and Psychotherapy, Michelle Burnett. Louise Niblock. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Health and Social Care, Jusna Begum. Sylvia Bulandra. Lindsay Capstick. Afira Chowdhury. Natalie Heap. Kathleen Heffron. Sana Hussain. Danielle Jackson. George Mashoko. Lauren Prestage. Amina Shafi. Lee Whitehead. Joel Yolo. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Midwifery, Emily Bamford. Donna Bromley. Anna Marie Broom. Charlie Buddington. Nicola Chaplin. Amina Chavan. Tony Juice. Zoe Evans. Olivia Gardner. Melissa Gore. Rachel Green. Stephanie Greenwood. Diane Kate Harrison. Louise Harrison. Misha Harrison. Emily Jackson. Victoria Jones. Victoria Cudgel. Fiona Lee. Megan McLaughlin. Bethany Moran. Amika Naim. Aisha Nelson. Molly Outram. Anisa Patel. Emily Perry. Zainab Pervez. Aisha Raja. Hannah Riding. Lauren Riggs. Chloe Roscoe. Bethany Smith. Emma Suthers. April Thorne. Amy Tillotson. Amy Wade. Alexandra Warburton. Laura Wilson-Home. For a graduate certificate in promoting psychological well-being, IAPT, Amanda Devereaux. Foundation degree in Science and Health and Social Care Assistant Practitioner, Natalie Hind. Well done. Sophia Chand. Foundation degree in Arts and Health and Social Care, Rebecca Green. Danielle Mohammed. Foundation degree in Arts in Mental Health and Wellbeing, Kaylee Barnes. Gabrielle Kane. Kate Sim. Janine Williams. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Community Health and Midwifery.
Pro-Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the Academic Board, I present those who have gained awards in the School of Natural Sciences. For a thesis entitled An Evaluation of Massively Parallel Sequencing for Forensic Applications, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Matthew Phipps. For a thesis entitled Investigations of Planet Formation in Circumstellar Disks Around Young Stars, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Raisa Parker. For a thesis entitled The Properties of Giant Molecular Clouds in Nearby Galaxies and Their Environmental Variation, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to Saul Paul Beery. For a thesis entitled A Radio Frequency Interference Survey of Alston Observatory for Small Radio Telescopes, the degree of Master of Science by Research is awarded to Christopher Paul John Everest. Master of Science in DNA Profiling, Pragathi Dinesh Kumar. Vanessa Giestas Vaz. Jessica Hodson. Nicole Stella Mavrou. Afioma Scholastica Onwuta. Eloise Reynolds. Emma Rigby. Aaron Tassil. Bethany Taylor. Vaib Havi. Master of Science in Forensic Science, Sandra Agumilele Abu. Hannah Crawford. Callum Fulks. Postgraduate Certificate in Forensic Science, Zaid Hussain. Master of Science in Forensic Science, Mohammed Suleiman Javed. Ashley Johnson. Yen Yin Lu. Nicole Lowe. Emily Pike. Sasha Sefton. Christian Sumser-Lupson. Natasha Suspach. Ramisha Tabassum. Master of Science in Synthetic Organic Chemistry, Tope Onilemo Ajayi. Abhinaya Subramanian. Master of Science in Forensic Science and Molecular Biology, Brooke Lomas. Master of Chemistry in Chemistry, Chloe Foster. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Archaeology, Amy Craggs. Bachelor of Arts with Honours in Equestrian Management Development, Robert Potter. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Environmental Science, Oliver Alka. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Geography, Samuel Brinkley. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Archaeology and Anthropology, Katrina Dodds. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Astrophysics, Bethany Ramsden. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Environmental Management, Katie Cook. Bachelor of Science with Honours in Chemistry, Daniel Blackburn. Joshua Howarth. Abdul Patel. Ishmael Patel. Megan Walsh. Bachelor of Science with honours in Forensic Science and Criminal Investigation, Aurora Chadwick. Evan Clifford. Aisha Musaid. Jasmine Schofield. Mohammed Shahin Shah Ali. Bachelor of Science with honours in Forensic Science, Katie Calland. Amelia Davies. Kimberly Haji. Megan Taylor. Bachelor of Science with honours in Mathematics, Yatisha White. Bachelor of Science with honours in Physics, Jacob Blackburn. Bachelor of Science with honours in Environmental Science, Anju Lama. A posthumous award is being awarded to Mohammed Ajmal. Mohammed has been a student with UCLan since September 2011, when he embarked upon his first course, the Certificate in Astronomy, before transferring to the BSc Astronomy the following year. In many ways, he was a typical distance learning student in that he studied from home over and above his other commitments. But he was also one of the pioneers, one of the few astronomy distance learning students that we have in India. Despite having had difficult circumstances for a number of years, he showed great persistence and determination, undertaking one astronomy module per year. Astronomy was clearly an important part of his life, and we're glad that UCLan was able to feed this interest until so recently. It is only right that we recognise his achievement by awarding him a Certificate of Higher Education in Astronomy. Pro-Vice-Chancellor. That concludes the presentation of awards from the School of Natural Sciences.
I now call on Raham Ojiba, President of the Students' Union, to respond on behalf of graduates awarded today.
There was a man from the moment he was born who was challenged to overcome the odds. He was ridiculed by the people that he grew up with. They failed to see the potential in him. They couldn't see past what they thought of his parents, their setbacks, their jobs, and their social class. The outside world saw him based on his environment. A man said of him, "Could anything good come out of Nazareth?" Just as they may have said of me, "Can anything good come out of Croydon?" For you, it may be, "Could anything good come out of Preston, Liverpool, Manchester, Africa, or Asia?" Or maybe that was even your own doubts. But today, you are setting your own narrative, creating your own achievements. Not by your family names or the areas where you had grown up in, but your sheer dedication to overcome your trials and persevere in the end. The narratives may have once been set by others, but now it's being set by you. You're creating your own story, your own legacy, your own pathway. Whether it was writing up your dissertation in a few days, running out of student finance, or adjusting to a new way of life, you've made it. And I know it was no easy ride. Vice Chancellor, graduates, families, loved ones, it is my greatest honor to stand here before you and remind you of the battles these students in front of you and besides you have overcome. Before I continue, students, I just want you to take a deep breath. You've made it. Before coming here to university, I'm sure some of you were written off through other people, other universities, who failed to see the potential in you and take a chance on not just you as people, but your futures too. This is a part of my story, a young man rejected because of the mistakes he had made as a teen. They didn't see the man I am before you today. They saw the young man who laid on his prison bed. They saw another black offender, another statistic most likely to reoffend. They never saw me cry out to God because I wasn't happy with who I'd become, but there was one who did see, who had prepared for me security, success, and salvation. He gave me another chance. Who is his name? Is Jesus Christ, the King. This second chance continued with UCLan. UCLan gave me an opportunity, just as UCLan gave you an opportunity, the space to fall and get back up, to learn, to build, to connect, to achieve, whether that be through societies, sports clubs, lectures, and your placements. You have had the opportunity to be successful and be a part of a community. The chance to make UCLan a home away from home. To all the people who have been with us on the journey, thank you. Lecturers, friends, and family members, the voices of motivation and hands of support you have been for us when things didn't seem to be going in the right direction. We couldn't have done it without you, and we thank you. I love this quote that says, "Perseverance builds character, and character builds hope." So let's hold on to the hope we have, the memories we've made, the lessons you've learned. Remember that your scars from your trials are a reminder of your victory, and hope that we can overcome the hurdles of life through the grace of God that keeps us and sees us through. If one thing I hope you take from this time as students at university is that community matters, support matters. Alone we may suffer, but together we shall thrive. God bless you all.
So today is, of course, a momentous occasion of everyone here, and we needed to make sure we celebrate in the most appropriate way. So, family and friends, there is a good photo and video opportunity coming up. You may like to have your cameras at the ready. And could I please ask all the graduates to stand and take off your mortarboards, which I'm sure will be a great relief to many, as I've seen how precariously they've been balancing on your heads as you've been passing across the stage. So, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to throw your mortarboard up into the air in recognition of all your hard work and achievements. However, please be careful. You don't want to throw it too high or too far to cause any trauma on its descent. And there is an extra special reason to be careful, because it is now your mortarboard to take home and keep. So, on a count of 3, I want you to throw your mortarboard in the air and give a big cheer. I'll count 1, 2, 3, and on 3, throw it in the air, but not too high. Then we will all follow with a further 3 cheers. So are you ready? Right. 1, 2, 3. Hip, hip. Hooray. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Now, please, if you could all return to your seats for one final time while I explain the final stage of this amazing and special day. Thank you. So, as we bring the ceremony to a close, I would like to thank everyone who's been involved in making today such a happy and memorable occasion and sharing this special day with our entire university community. The platform party will now leave the stage, and graduates, you will shortly be processing out of the hall past a guard of honour in the central aisle here. A university usher will prompt your row when you need to stand up, and please make sure you bring all your belongings with you. Guests, please may I ask you all remain seated until the graduates and the platform party have left the hall. You will then be guided through the doors at the side by the ushers to rejoin your graduate in the Student Centre for post-ceremony celebrations. So thank you and have a fantastic rest of your day.
will